is Eduardo Enrique Aguilar. I've been at Tarrant County College since it opened in January 1976. I've been chair of the department several times. I went to a community college in Laredo, Texas, and Uncle Sam called me and I went in the Army and then came back. I finished my BFA at Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. Then I started teaching public school, and after a while I told my wife, I don't think I'm going to last till retirement in the public school. So I applied and moved my wife and 5 children to Denton, Texas, and completed my Master of Fine Arts there at UNT. This has been an ongoing interest, and even though I had painted when I was an undergraduate, I wasn't very enthusiastic about color. It was not something that I really understood very well. When I started teaching design and painting at Tarrant County College, I had also to teach a section of it which was in color, harmony, what colors do to the retina, etc. So it's very scientific things that I never even had any idea of until I started teaching the subject. That I started a series of non-objective landscape paintings, and this one is a digital representation of a series that I started first in using drawing color media such as wax crayons, oil pastels, and later I started painting on canvas with acrylics. But in 2004, I decided that I would try to understand the digital side of art. And so even though I did a lot of realistic landscapes, which I had never really had an interest in, but with the digital camera, I was started doing a lot of digital landscape photography. This one is one of the first where I tried to juxtapose the concept that I had been doing for 2 decades in non-objective landscapes in other media, the realistic landscape, and the relationships of the abstract and the realistic. The negative space is a flat reproduction of a Mexican sarape that has, of course, lots of different colors that are in both of these compositions. And so you see the lines are created by the removal of the surface design. You can see the transparency of the colors. You can see the pattern and the design of the sarape underneath. Sarape is a blanket. People use it to decorate with, but originally the indigenous people used to use it to sleep with. In this one, the only thing you see of the sarape is, of course, the same design that's on here is in reverse over here. So you have the formal balance in the negative space, but then the figurative aspect of it is totally different. You have the realistic and the abstract landscape. This line, for example, indicates the foreground, and then the background has 2 different levels. So this is like middle ground and background, and the horizon is way up here. So the same horizon occurs in this one. And then you have the sky which starts out lighter and then it gets a little bit darker as it goes up. And so the same thing occurs here. The lightness slowly grows darker as it moves towards the top. This scribbling kind of pattern that's on the surface here is in the abstract landscapes, and they're symbolic of air currents that we feel the wind moving or the air moving, but we can't really see it. But one of the things that is also very symbolic are the small little dots of all kinds of colors, which are symbolic of pollen that's in the air, that if you're allergic to all these things, when you breathe them, your body recognizes that you're allergic to, and you start sneezing and stuff, and so that's part of the pattern that creates this abstraction. Whereas here, you don't see all of that is out there. I love going outdoors. It brings joy to my heart. Even though, I may start sneezing and I may even have to take another pill of whatever helps me to deal with my hay fever stuff.